He was in a hurry, and because I guess it was raining, he wanted to get this undercover.
So you weren't here when Dylan came down here?
He's a friend of mine.
Sure. You don't get rid of friends.
The desert keeps its secrets. Out there, where the wind cuts across miles of empty land and the horizon swallows sound, a person can vanish and the earth won't even blink. On May 28, 2022, 19-year-old Dylan Rounds made a phone call to his grandmother. He sounded normal, calm, focused. He talked about crops, irrigation, the usual work on his small farm in the remote Utah desert.
I told that kid to stay the hell out of Montello.
But that whole town, it's a crazy place.
Some other guy pointed a gun in my freaking face.
Nothing in his voice suggested danger. Nothing suggested it would be the last time anyone in his family would ever hear him alive. By the end of that weekend, Dylan was gone. And at first, almost no one seemed surprised. Dylan wasn't like most 19-year-olds. While others were in college dorms or working part-time jobs, he had chosen something far more difficult: isolation, responsibility, risk. He had moved to a barren stretch of land near Lucin, Utah, an area so remote that cell service flickers in and out like a dying signal from another world. He wanted to farm, not as a hobby, not as a summer experiment. He wanted to build something real. He lived in a trailer, worked the land alone, fixed his own equipment, bought his own seed. Every acre he tilled felt like proof that he didn't need anyone. But independence has a cost, and in the desert, help is hours away.
He's been hanging out over that bar in Montello, and I could give you some names of some scumbags over there, but he's been shooting his mouth off about how much money he's making. And there's one guy, Chase Ventura. He's over there, and he can do anything he wants. He's been robbing, stealing, and everything, and the Elko County Sheriff won't do anything about it. And if you talk to his mother, she knows more about it, but he run into Chase on the Tacoma Road the other day, and Chase kind of scared him a little bit.
What's your last name again, Jim?
Jim Brenner. Well, I'll let you get down there before they disturb the crime scene.
Okay, thank you.
Earlier that day, Dylan had been seen at a small grocery store. Security footage captured him buying snacks and supplies. He looked relaxed, unbothered, nothing unusual. He drove back toward his farm. After that, silence. When family members couldn't reach him, they grew uneasy. Dylan was responsible. He didn't just disappear. His truck was found parked near his property. His boots were missing. His phone had stopped transmitting, and the desert felt heavier than usual.
He has a 40 that he puts in the door every side.
Did you just pop the back window?
I broke it out.
Minor damage, but what concerned his father the most was that Dylan's guns had mysteriously vanished from the trailer, a detail that was strange on its own. Wanting to learn more about Dylan, the deputy turned to speak with his mother. She had her own troubling information to share about Dylan's recent run-in with a local criminal.
What does he farm for out here?
Himself.
What does he farm for? Grain or?
Yeah, grain.
Grain?
Yeah.
James stopped me when you guys went around me, was talking to me. He said that you knew something about a run-in he had with a guy named Chase?
Yeah, on Wednesday, but they told me that's normal, so...
I know a lot of the people that he named from Montello are not good people. I only know of them from what people say.
He lived close enough to Dylan's property that their paths had crossed. Locals described him as unpredictable, dangerous, someone who didn't respect boundaries, legal or otherwise. At first, though, he was just one of many possibilities. Investigators cast a wide net: theft, drug activity, transient criminals, equipment sabotage. There were rumors that Dylan had confronted trespassers before. Had someone taken revenge? Had he stumbled into something he wasn't meant to see? The theories grew, but one name kept resurfacing, quietly, persistently.
I did get a few.
Okay.
Last location was 15.4 miles from the boat line tower, which puts him on this back road.
So would that hit him walking? Okay, that's, I know my son, and that's the shortest route to his camp.
If he walked, that road ends right out there. If he walked, he would have come the corner, cut across this field.
But that's his closest cell phone, Pete. Not in town, not, it's out here.
Mm-hmm. Off of that road. The back road into the compound.
Can we go down to where it is?
Yeah.
What time was that? Does it tell you?
That was at 14:58.
So right after
So
you dropped,
just before 3 o'clock.
right after you left. So he must have pulled in right behind you, dropped off the grain truck, and I'm telling you, I bet you he took off walking.
How do you get to that road from... So we don't have to go all the way back to Lucerne Pond and over?
No, I guess we're
Perfect.
okay.
Following
James
this
Brenner,
lead,
a convicted felon with a history of violence. He had been living illegally on nearby land. He and Dylan had reportedly argued in the past. Witnesses claim tension, disputes, threats, but suspicion alone isn't evidence. Then something strange happened. Brenner was seen wearing boots, Dylan's boots, the same distinct pair that friends and family recognized instantly. When questioned, Brenner gave inconsistent answers. Then came the digital trail, cell phone pings, movement patterns, timing that didn't add up. The desert was quiet, but technology wasn't.
We're trying to find a kid named Dylan Rounds.
Oh, I know. We got locals out here looking for him too. Oh, they went out that way because he was out to Lucerne.
I was hearing Kurt say something about he had a conversation with that Chase kid.
Yeah, that's who I'm looking for. Where do we find him?
I'm kind of worried about it because if Dylan did walk back from where he left the grain truck and Chase got a hold of him at vulnerable, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Walking back, something bad could have happened because there was a bad injury with a kid just out here that got his face smashed in by the butt of a gun, and the whole camper shell was all bashed in and stuff.
Where do we find Chase? Is he from here? Does he live here?
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't.
He's from around here. This is where he hangs out.
He
Yeah.
was staying out here, and he was...
Where was he staying?
Investigators searched Brenner's property. They noticed disturbed soil, freshly moved earth, but desert ground is tricky. It shifts, it hides. Search teams combed the area. Nothing definitive. Then came statements. Allegedly, Brenner made admissions to others, small pieces, fragments of truth disguised as casual conversation. He had shot someone, he had buried someone, but he refused to say where, and without a body, the desert still held the upper hand. Dylan's family refused to give up. They searched relentlessly, volunteers, drones, cadaver dogs. Heat, dust storms, blistering sun. Every day that passed deepened the nightmare. Was he still alive? Was he injured somewhere, unable to call for help? Or had the desert already claimed him? Meanwhile, Brenner was arrested on weapons charges, but not for murder, not yet. The evidence was circumstantial. The body was missing, and the desert does not easily surrender what it takes. In 2023, everything shifted. Brenner agreed to a plea deal. He admitted to shooting Dylan. He admitted to burying him. He claimed it was accidental, a confrontation, an argument, a trigger pulled in panic. But he still would not reveal the exact burial site. The cruelty of that detail cannot be overstated. He confessed, but left the family without closure, left the desert to keep its secret.
It wasn't like this yesterday, though.
Okay.
Somebody came and opened it. Yeah.
So how did it look like?
This was flat. So this was on top, and then there was another wood.
Hey, man. So there is a grave, but there appears to be maybe 2 dogs, maybe 2 or 3 dogs.
Yeah, that's not a human.
Yeah, 2 or 3 dogs inside. It looks like it's been here for some time. But the person, the RP is telling me that it didn't look like this yesterday, that somebody had come over.
Have any guess why the Box Elder County Sheriff's Office maybe want to talk to you about anything?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. What's that?
My Zoe.
Who's that?
James Brenner.
Okay. Do you think you have anything that might be able to help us?
Maybe.
What's that?
2 different locations where a body might be.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Where are those?
West Desert.
Well, okay. That's helpful. We think he's there, too.
He's trying to put it off on somebody named Chase.
Okay.
And I know he killed the guy because he was jealous of him. Spoiled ass little rich kid.
Brent, you're using too many pronouns. When you say he killed him, are you talking about Brenner killing him or this guy named Chase?
Brenner.
Okay.
Yeah, Brenner, he's told me, he's told me so much of it. But I wouldn't stop in the West Desert. I would look inside of a septic tank also.
A septic tank?
Yeah, a septic tank.
Why do you say that?
Because he's come across and told me all these things he's thought about and checked into, and then he starts laughing and says, "You guys could be walking right over top of the body."
So, I want to start off like I'm being completely upfront with you and honest with you about it. Honestly, anything that you tell us, we're going to be somewhat skeptical, just like you're skeptical of us, right?
I get it.
Brenner ultimately pleaded guilty to murder. He received a prison sentence that ensures he will spend the majority, if not all, of his remaining life behind bars. But no sentence restores a son. No prison term fills an empty seat at the table. Justice in cases like this feels incomplete because the real punishment was already delivered on a quiet stretch of land, under a wide, indifferent sky. If you visit the area now, it looks unchanged. Wind still moves across the fields, dust still lifts into the air. The land doesn't show scars, it rarely does. But those who know the story feel something different out there, a heaviness, a reminder that ambition and danger sometimes live side by side.